Hello everyone, welcome to the second lecture on Introduction to Mathematica. In this lecture also, we will be continuing with the basics of Mathematica and how to perform some more numerical calculations using Mathematica. So let us start the notebook. Now, today we will start with complex numbers. You can see I have written complex number in some different way. Basically, this is the way in Mathematica how we write the comments. Okay, in Mathematica. So if you want to write any comment, okay, uh, where generally we write comments when we are writing a very long program or program in which you have to keep some reference, but it is not a part of your program. It is just for your reference. So this are basically the lines which are not compiled by the compiler. It is just something which you have written. So this is the way of writing comments in Mathematica. Okay, I hope you have got this concept. Now let us take a very basic example on complex numbers. So we will start with a very basic example. Suppose I am finding a square root of -4. Okay, so the output should be 2 into I. Okay, so it is 2I. Okay, so 2I is the output, which is basically a complex number. So basically Mathematica can itself calculate complex numbers and all those things. Now if you want to write a complex number in Mathematica, so how will you write the number? So suppose I want to write 2 plus 3I. Okay, so 2 plus 3 space capital I. So it is 2 plus 3I. Capital I is basically an inbuilt constant in Mathematica, which is dedicated to uh, iota. Okay, so capital I in Mathematica means iota. Okay, and there is a space between 3 and I. Okay, so that's why it is 3 into I, and this is how the complex algebra works. Okay, so 2 plus 3I, and I am executing. So it has taken 2 plus 3 into iota as the output. Now since a complex number can be separated into a real part and a complex part, so we can find it. So if I want to find the real part of this complex number, I will write capital R E and a square bracket of percentage. Percentage in Mathematica is used for the last output. Okay, so I want to find the real part of the output, which is the latest output. So it is 2 plus 3I. So it will be calculating the real part of 2 plus 3I. So your output is 2. Okay, now I want to find the imaginary part of that number. Then I will write capital I small m of double percentage, because I am not interested in this output but a last to last output. Okay, so I will write double percentage here and then I will execute this. So your output is 3. Okay, so this is 3 is the okay. Now if we want to find the conjugate of a this complex number, okay, then you have to write conjugate. Okay, conjugate of, now it is last to last output, so I will be writing 3 times percentage. Okay, so it is 2 minus 3I. Now you see that this concept of percentage, basically it is that how much you increase the number of percentage, the more last output you get. This procedure is a bit tedious procedure, so there is one more way of defining this. So suppose that I want to find the absolute value of this 2 plus 3I. So generally in notebook what we do is under root of 2 plus 3I into 2 minus 3I, and then we calculate this number. Okay, so to do this we write ABS, which is the absolute of, now I will be writing percentage into the output number. Okay, so output number is 3. Okay, you can see here it is 3, so I will be writing percentage 3. Okay, and it is calculated as root 13. If I want to find the numerical value, what I will do? Double percentage n. Okay, so what you have understood till now, how to perform some basic complex analysis and how to define complex number, and what is the importance of this percentage symbol in Mathematica. Okay, and the other thing is how to write comments in Mathematica. Okay, so up till now we have seen this part. Now if you see, generally what we see in mathematics is about that many variables are defined as alpha, beta, gamma, or some Greek letter. So how to write those special letters in Mathematica? Suppose you want to initialize a variable alpha is equal to 2. So how will you use your keyboard and write those things? So basically the way is you press escape, A, escape. So alpha is written. Okay. If I want to write beta, then I will write escape B, escape. So beta is written. Okay, escape G, escape, gamma is written. Now if I want to write delta, then I will be writing escape D, escape. Okay, so this is a small delta. If I want to write capital delta, then what I will do? Escape capital D, escape. Okay, if I want to write pi, then I will be writing escape pi, pi, or I can also write escape p, escape. Okay, so you can write special characters like this. You have to first press on escape and then the number, and then you have to again press escape. Okay, suppose you want to write infinity, then you will be pressing escape inf, escape. If you want to write a degree symbol, then escape DEG, escape. If you want to write exponential, then escape E, escape. Okay, so this is the Euler's constant, or okay, sorry, you have to write escape double E, escape. Okay, so this is your Euler's number. If you want to write iota here, then you have to write escape II, escape. Then this is the iota. Okay, so this is how you can write special characters very easily from your keyboard itself. Okay, so now we will talk about how to define variables in Mathematica. So suppose that if I want to define a variable x is equal to 2. Okay, and this is written as 2. Now if I press x and execute the value of x, then I will get 2. Okay, so now if I want to define another variable, y is equal to 3. Okay, so if I now execute only y, then I will get the value 3. Okay, so this is how we define variables in Mathematica. So if I replace x is equal to 2 with x is equal to 2, and in last if I type semicolon, then the output will not be printed. Okay, if I write y is equal to 3, and see here the output is printed 3, but if I write a semicolon in the end, then the output will not be printed. So this is the concept which we have also discussed in the last lecture. Now suppose I want to define z is equal to x plus y. Okay, so it is 5. Okay, so this is how you can do this. Now if I want to find 5 times z, so 5 into z. Okay, here when you are multiplying a number and a variable, so there is no need for a space in between. It will be automatically taken as a multiplication. So if I do 5 into z, then it is 25. Okay, so this is how you can do these things. Now suppose that if I want to write x raised to 2y. Okay, if you write only this much, then it will be taken as x to the power 2, and it will be calculated first, and then the entire thing will be multiplied with y. Okay, but if you want to write in the exponent x to the power 2y, then you have to group 2y, so it has to be written as x to the power 2y. Okay, and this is the answer as 64. Now if I write x to the power 2 into y, then the answer is 12. Okay, so this is the importance of grouping, which I have also told you in the last lecture. So always keep this thing in mind, that if you want to write something in the exponent, you first group it and then only you write it. Okay, now we are going to discuss a very important thing, which will help us further also when we are using arrays and all those things and matrices. Okay, so these things are known as lists in Mathematica. Okay, so again I am writing a comment like this, and the lists are basically a group of variables or numbers. So it is written as a list as 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so it is a kind of one dimensional array. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let me define this complete array with v. Okay, so v is equal to 1, 2, 3, a group of variables or a group of numbers. So it is a kind of vector. Okay, it can be 4 numbers, 10 numbers, n number of numbers. If I execute 3 into v, then it is all the numbers in this list are basically multiplied by 3. So it is 1 into 3, 2 into 3 and 3 into 3. Okay, so this is how I can define a list. Okay, I can also do v raised to 2, so it is 149. So all the numbers in this list have been multiplied with the exponent raised to 2. So it is 1 to the power 2, 2 to the power 2 and 3 to the power 2, and this is the output which I have got. Okay, this concept will be very important when we will be talking about matrices and vectors and all those things. Now if I want to extract a particular element from this list, then basically I can write v a square bracket, a double square bracket, then 2 in this. Okay, so it basically means that the second element of v must be extracted. So what is the second element of v? It is 2, so it is extracted. If I write v of 1 in 2 square brackets, then 1 is extracted, and if I write 3, then 3 is extracted. Okay, so this is how you can extract numbers from a list. Okay, so now we will be discussing about algebraic application equations. So if you are having an expression like x square plus 3x plus 4, okay, so this will be taken as, sorry, we have already defined the variable as x. So now what I will do, I have to undefine this variable. So I will be doing, since you can see that earlier we have defined x is equal to 2. Okay, but now I am not interested in this value of x, so I will write x is equal to full stop. Okay, so it means that now my variable x is undefined. Now it is a clear variable. So now I will be writing x square plus 3x plus 5. Okay, so this is now 5 plus 3x plus x square. Okay, so this is how you can type an algebraic equation. And now I want to replace the value of x with, let us say, so to replace I have to write at the end of the expression slash dot x tends to 6. So what will happen if I write this kind of thing in the end? It basically means that wherever it will see x in this expression, it will be replaced by 6. So this is known as a replace kind of thing. Okay. So now with the value of x tends to 6, this is the value. If I take it as 10, then it is written like this, 135. Okay, so this is how this thing is known as this is used for replacing a variable inside an expression. Now suppose that it is a two-dimensional having two variables in this equation, so it is x into y. Okay, if there are two variables, then what I will do, I have to compulsorily keep a space. Okay, y is also a defined variable, so I will have to first undefine this variable. Okay, so what I will do, I will keep a space here, I will write y is equal to, and I will execute this. Okay, so now I have also undefined y, and I want to also replace the value of y. So what I will do, slash dot curly bracket x tends to 10 comma y tends to, let us say, 4. Okay, and this value is executed. This is one of the most important thing which you will be using most often. Okay, this slash dot and replacing a variable with some other variable. You can also replace one variable with some other variable. So suppose that if I want to replace x with 1 minus c, okay, which is some other variable, and y with let us say d minus 2. So this is how. So what is happening, what has happened, the x has been replaced by 1 minus c, and d has been replaced with d minus 2, y has been replaced with d minus 2. So this is how this replace, this slash dot is very important at the end of the expression when you are replacing a variable inside an expression. Okay, so this is very important, and we will use this very extensively in our course. Okay, so always remember this thing. Okay, so let us continue further with algebraic equations, and let us consider an expression like this: 1 plus x raised to 4. Okay, and I am executing this. Okay, so it is taken as 1 plus x to the power 4. Now if you want to expand this complete expression, then what we can do, expand, okay, and the previous result. So you can see that now this has been expanded. Okay, now if you want to factorize this expression, okay, so what we will do, factor, okay, and again the previous result. So now it has been factorized. So this is how you can expand and factorize a algebraic equation. So this is the thing. Now if you want to find what is the coefficient of x to the power 4, okay, since we do, if we have a very long expression, and if we are interested in any coefficient, then we can write coefficient, okay, and then the expression. Okay, so the expression here is 1 plus x to the power 4. Okay, and I am interested in the coefficient of x to the power 4. So what is the coefficient? It is 1. You can see here that the coefficient of x to the power 4 is 1. This thing is important when you are doing a Taylor series expansion or in some mathematics where you are interested in some particular coefficient in the series expansion, so you can use it there. Now if I have an algebraic equation, let us say ax square plus bx plus c. Okay, here basically let me take some different variables because a, b and c all are used, so I can write an expression called clear all. Okay, so it will clear all the variables. Okay, and executing this, and now I am writing ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, this is the assignment operator, which is the double equal to operator. Okay, so this is the expression and I want to solve this. If I solve this, what I will get, b is equal to, x is equal to minus b plus under root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. Okay, so let me do. So if I want to solve this, I will use solve command. Okay, and I have to solve it for x, so you have to write here comma x. So you can see that there are two roots of x. X is equal to minus b minus of under root of b square minus 4ac by 2a, and x tends to minus b plus under root of b square minus 4ac by 2ac. Okay, so this is how you can solve an algebraic expression. Now if you are having instead of a and b some different number, let me take x square plus 2x plus 3. Okay, and I am solving this. Okay, so you can see that these are imaginary roots of the expression. Okay, so this is how you can solve algebraic equations in Mathematica.